I am a sex worker and like adult film performer. And me and some friends of mine during the pandemic started a mutual aid fund for sex workers in need.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. So it's called Suede Vegas. And basically it's just sex worker mutual aid Las Vegas. And basically it started because like when the pandemic occurred, there was no help that sex workers could get at all.
Right.
Because we weren't able to get, workers' comp or anything that like the state would provide really, because they pretend like we don't exist or try to actively make us not exist. So, yeah, we started this thing. It's been going really well. We've actually branched out to like all over the world. Like we just started as like a little Vegas thing with me, Cody Vore, Summerheart, and Tegan Trex. And like we were planning on just, having it be a local thing where we're, just like helping people around Vegas or in LA potentially. But yeah, it ended up expanding. We've given over like $175,000 in direct mutual aid grants to people. Like,
that's awesome.
Tests. Yeah, thanks. So basically the idea was, we want to give people just show us show us their accounts or like Twitter or whatever they're using to either sell their clips or whatever it is, however they're working. And then they hit us up on mutual aid, or on suedevegas.org.
And I just got to your guys' website. I just want to clarify the spelling. It's Suede, like SWAID.
Yep.
Not like the, material.
As in aid, Southwest
yes,
aid.
SWAID.
I should have cleared that up.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
I should have cleared that up. So yeah, that's us. And so we sorry, I'm just I'm literally like I've been listening to this since Michael, and like Sam, you and Michael were like why I turned left or understood that I was left at all.
Oh wow.
So thank you again.
Excellent.
But yeah, and so I didn't know how you guys what you guys knew about like just like sex worker mutual aid in general and stuff like that, or if you guys are interested in that kind of stuff at all. But yeah, it's been tough for us out here because like we've been like Sesta Fosta obviously was a dog shit thing for was a crappy thing for us
right.
as sex workers. But also out here in Vegas, they're like, or not just in Vegas, but they like Exodus Cry and all these like shady companies that try and basically they use the idea of sex trafficking like as like how they're stopping us from selling things on the internet or doing like any of our work at all, when they've literally like I think one case ever since the beginning of all those movements have they ever like tried to stop anything that had to do with sex trafficking at all. It's literally just a hyper-religious organization that's trying to stop sex work in general.
Yeah, I mean, I interviewed somebody about Sesta Fosta maybe 3 or 4 years ago in Vegas actually, when I go to that tort conference, and she had been trafficked. And we had a bit of like an argument. It was a little bit controversial. I'm trying to remember like what the outlines were of it. She was she was basically talking about suing these motels that would cater to trafficked, usually girls. But we brought up Sesta Fosta. She was very much for it and really didn't have much of a. It was interesting because her perspective on it was that when she was trafficked, she would see ads for essentially her and assume that there was nothing, sort of conflated her being trafficked with being just part of the sex trade and being legal. And that she didn't realize that it was illegal until she sort of got out of it, which... I don't know how you address that, but Sesta Fosta was problematic. I know I'd be interested if you went back and listened to that. And
yeah, no, I would love to. Yeah, I mean, like part of the other issue, right, is with sex trafficking victims of that. especially in Vegas here, there's some really weird laws that they've passed over here. So say you were sex trafficking, like no matter what age you are, if you report that to the police, you get arrested because you are doing sex work, right?
Oh,
it's a wild,
Jesus.
Yeah, that's
wild law. Yeah, it's really fucked. But there's that, and then there was another one that's really. Oh yeah, there's another one here that really affects like sex worker housing. So if you say I don't know if it counts for like what I do. Like I work for browsers and those companies and stuff, but like so if your landlord rents a house to you and it's somehow proven that you're shooting porn in it or you're doing escorting, I think it's mostly with escorting, like at that house, the landlord can be charged as like a certain kind of felon at that point. So it makes it so now if you've ever been charged with any type of sex trafficking or arrested for it and it's on your record, people won't rent you.
They won't rent you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Which, it's a pretty messed up thing. But like us at Seder, we're doing everything we can to, like every Sunday we do a Twitch stream that me and a bunch of other sex workers and friends and leftist like Twitch streamers and all that stuff.
Can you find that info on Suede Vegas? The stream info?
I don't know. I think so. It would just be twitch.tv/xcorvus777. It's Sunday nights at 7 p.m. PST. And so we just play like silly games and stuff and have a bunch of like random, sex worker guests and leftist guests on. And we talk about, sex work stuff and play video games to raise money for Suede, right? So
Excellent.
There's like a Tiltify link. And so that's been our main fundraising thing.
Well,
but yeah, thank you guys for taking my call.
we'll put a link to Suede in the podcast and YouTube description today. And I would recommend putting a link to your stream.
Yeah, Xcorvus777.
Yeah, I don't know why we haven't.
You should put that on the site.
Yeah.
I'll put both.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. And there's another one, twitch.tv/dimbug, and she's our other person who streamed it. So, but yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for taking my call.
Appreciate the call.
Of course.
Thank you, Xander.
All right.
Nice
to
meet you.
Final caller of the day. That was a good final call of the day.
Yeah, I know, right?
Someone whose work I'm familiar with.
Really?
Yeah.
I plead the fifth.
All right.
Did not know he was a fan of ours.
I have to say that I'm not familiar with his work, but I don't know many actors.
Should I Google it later?
Well, Aaron is not cool. Xander Corvus, good to hear from such a prominent member of the sex work industry. We definitely need to hear more about this and how can we support legislation that helps and protects them. Consider having him on as a Friday guest. Plus, he's got a huge dick. Well, that's all right.
I like that there's a little group of like commie socialist sex workers.
Yeah, that's
exciting.
awesome.
That's great.